Becoming interested in teaching I think back and I look back on my life, and I really consider it a calling. Looking back to high school, I feel like I had some opportunities to volunteer with some of our students with disabilities, and I enjoyed that time. And I again really felt the calling to get into special education. And I've enjoyed it ever since. I've been in it for 14 years now, and I enjoy it. It's a challenge, but I believe that it was a calling to get into. I enjoy being a special education teacher and teaching students with disabilities. Again, I think back to my time in high school when I was able to really touch base with some students with disabilities, and you know, I've always liked the underdog, the student that has some maybe an issue that has to overcome things. I love to hear those stories, and I love to make a difference in those students with disabilities and those underdogs that really they just need someone to push them to experience what they are to do, and the success that they will have, and I enjoy doing that. To become a teacher, I had a lot of mentors, a lot of people pushing me in that direction. My wife was included in that. She was a teacher before I was. But I had a principal who was in my high school who was key in me deciding to become a teacher, and it is Dr. Bigwood, and he played an important role there. But I think back to my high school days, and there was a young man by the name of David who was in my agriculture classes, and he had disabilities, and I became friends with him. He enjoyed talking to us and my friend group as the days went by, and I started to drive, and he actually asked me if I could give him a ride to his father's work, and I said, as long as your mom's okay with it, I'm fine with it. So he went and asked his mom, and his mom, who was a teacher also at the time, said it was fine that I gave David a ride. When I drove David to his dad's office, he was as happy as I've ever seen a person before. And I kind of saw then that doing something nice for a student with disabilities and really just doing those simple things for those students can really make a big difference in their lives. And so that's kind of where I started thinking, maybe I need to look into this and becoming a job teaching students with disabilities. Teaching is, if it's done correctly, it is a difficult task. Teaching is one of those things that sometimes gets a bad rap, that is often said that if you can't do something, then you can teach. I don't agree with that. I think that teaching, again, is a calling. We have put a lot of work in for our degrees and for our professional development to improve our craft. And we improve our craft every day. And it all starts with relationships between us and the student. It's very difficult to teach anybody without a trusting and good relationship between them. I put that on a high pedestal, that I need to have a good relationship with all of my students. And really connect with them on a personal level there. It really assists in teaching them the content, and I think that relationships are very important in education, especially at the high school level.
I think Coach Water would make a good teacher of the year because he teaches in a way to help me understand. Also, he makes everything easier. He helps me out when I'm absent, the next day he catches me right up.
I think Coach Ward should be teacher of the year because he explains things fully and demonstrates stuff that's hard to understand.
I think Coach Ward should be teacher of the year because he make teaching easy, and I like the way he teach. I think Coach Waters should be Teacher of the Year because he makes sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to when they're supposed to.
I think Coach Waters would make a great Teacher of the Year because he's very helpful and he helps out people that struggle in classes.
I met the student in the 9th grade, but I did not actually teach him until the 10th. I taught him world history, and the student struggled with a disability, and he had a very difficult time in academics. We got him through world history and got him to U.S. history, which is a test that has an end of course test at the end. And we spent numerous hours learning this after school, before school. Spent a lot of time with this U.S. history class. It was quite a struggle. He ended up passing the class, and we got to economics, so the 3rd time I've taught this student. By this time we had a great relationship together, and he again was really struggling at that time. It got to the point that he was going to pass, and we were looking towards graduation. The day of graduation came, and this student who has disabilities, he graduated and walked across the stage. And after it was over, he comes running to me and tells me he really appreciates all that I had done, and that he showed me his diploma and his hat, and he was so proud. It makes those long days and those long time periods where you're questioning, is this really what I should be doing? It affirmed those that this is exactly what I should be doing, and I am fulfilling my calling.
Teaching is definitely a passion. It should be a passion if it's something that you're going to be, if you're going to consider it what you're going to do with your life. It is a chance for you to impact the life of a child and impact them in a positive way. And it is a gift that you should value. It's a gift that you should treasure, something that you should work very hard to protect and do the best that you can do every day when you walk into your school building and set foot in your classroom, to reach all of the minds that you can and to love them and care for them and have faith in them and encourage them to be the best that they can, no matter who they are, where they are from, no matter their learning style, their ability, or their need. You have a goal, and that is to be there to teach your students. And if you're coming in with the attitude that you want to be the one that they need, then you will be successful. It may not be that day, but eventually, if you keep up with that attitude, you're going to make a change in a child's life. I would definitely say that one of my influences of becoming a teacher, I remember Miss Kimbrell. She was my 6th grade math teacher. And she had this passion for teaching, and she had a passion for her students, and she made you feel valued, made you feel important, not just with the instruction that she was giving, but just her personality, her character. She was a mentor to me as a child, as the educator that I would one day hope to become. I would say that my plans and goals in my future teaching career are to continue my education. At this time, I'm working on my master's degree in curriculum and instruction, and to move forward, hopefully, into pursuing my specialist. And I hope to gain all of the knowledge that I need to continue understanding more about curriculum and different strategies that I can use to instruct my students and assess them, and to help them grow as successful and productive members of society as they continue through their education. I would like to say thank you to all of my fellow colleagues. From 6th grade, I miss and love you guys, my 7th and 8th grade team that I'm working with this year. Thank you so much for all of you who nominated me as your middle school teacher of the year. I'm extremely blessed to work with such a great school system and to have such wonderful support from all of you and to have the friendships that I have with you all. And you are all just a blessing, and I can't thank you enough for thinking of me for this nomination.
I think Miss Costley would be the best teacher of the year for Candler County because she always takes pride in what she does and is one of the best teachers I've ever had. She's very sweet and kind and always makes sure you get your work done.
I think Miss Costley would be the best teacher of the year because she always takes things serious and not negative, and just the best teacher I've ever had.
I think Miss Costley would be the best teacher of the year because she always there when we raise our hand. She's always there to help us, and she's very nice. She doesn't be like, here, do this real fast and get done with it. She just help us and help us learn slowly.
I think Miss Costley would make a good teacher of the year for 2019 because you could literally talk to her about anything.
Miss Costley would make a good teacher of the year because she's really helpful and she teaches us in a way that we understand.
I think Miss Costley should be Candler County Teacher of the Year because she helps students understand things that we don't really know.
There is a young lady that I'm teaching in 8th grade, and I also had her as a 6th grade student, Avril. Avril was very shy, very quiet. She would come in 6th grade most days and just really seemed to be reluctant at the task at hand. Didn't seem to have a lot of motivation to learn, didn't really want to be sociable. And I knew that she would be one of those students that would need some patience and some guidance, and she would need someone who could help her to become more open, to be more involved in her learning process. So I took time with her and gave her the patience that I knew she needed to where she was actually able to read aloud in class. And by the end of her 6th grade year, she was able to actually get up in front of her peers and present a presentation over an important topic that we had. Now in 8th grade, she is also displaying a lot of those traits of where she is more open and willing to socialize and be involved. And I've enjoyed having her again this year in 8th grade. And just seeing her go through that and know that she's accomplished so much makes me proud that I get up and I have the job that I have, because no, she's not the only one that I've seen that with. And you know, I know there will be more that I will work so hard to reach and encourage, but just to see that she has overcome so many things to get to where she is today makes me so proud that I get up every morning and that I have the job that I have. If you're going to be a teacher, when you go into that classroom every day, no matter what it is that you are facing, you need to come in and you need to have that positive, loving, caring personality towards all of your students, because you don't know what they just got off of the bus or out of the car, what they just came from when they step into that school building. And you could be the one that makes a difference in their day because you treat them with respect and that you want to have that good student-teacher connection and relationship, and you love them like they are your child. Yes, they may have behavior issues and they may struggle, but you being the one that continues to push them and show them that love and support and that faith can make the biggest difference in how their day goes and hopefully in the future who they become, because you give them that feeling that they matter, they're important.
I think every teacher should love each child like their own. The children come to school, and a lot of times we're the only positive role models that they have, or we spend more time with them than people in their family. So it's so important to build relationships with children, and it's so important that they feel loved and that they feel like they're your favorite. I try to make every child in my classroom feel like they're my favorite child. And I think to be a teacher, you have to love kids. Even on their worst days, you just have to love them. I try to make sure that I build relationships with each student. I want them to come to school and feel comfortable. I want them to feel like they can tell me anything. I want to make sure that all of their needs are met. If they haven't had breakfast, or if they're running late, or if they need a different shirt on for that day, I try to make sure that I take care of them. I try to make them feel like our classroom is their home. They're home away from home. Sometimes kids need that more than others. Some kids are, have wonderful home lives, and some children not so much. So everybody deserves feeling important and feeling loved and having all of their needs met. And so I try to make sure that's done each day in the classroom. I have a child in my class this year, like many other years. I usually have a child that really is challenging and may not fit in well with the other teachers. These kids, the kids like this child and other children, I just feel like they need me. Like God gave me that child in my room for a reason. And so I try to find what that reason is. Do they need a hug every day? Do they need to be loved? Do they need to be challenged? I try to find exactly what my purpose is with that child. And when you know your purpose with a child, you can work through any challenges that you have with him or her.
I think Michelle is a good teacher because she's nice. Because she can spell. It's because she can write. She's a good teacher, teaching a good math. Miss Cheryl is the goodest teacher in the world. And I like how her's doing, teaching us and doing the right things. And we're learning how to read, and we're doing the alphabet and all that stuff. I really love Miss Cheryl. And her's the best teacher every day. And her teaches about math and about reading groups. And her the best teacher ever.
All of the children I have taught have always been special to me. I'm not just saying that. They really hold a place in my heart. If I had to choose one student that stands out, I'm gonna try to talk about her without crying. Her name was Delana Miller, and she passed away this summer right after she left my classroom. She died in a fire. She'd spent the night, had a sleepover, and they were able to get 5 of the little girls out, but they were not able to get Delana out. And that year was the first year that I had made memory books, and I took a lot of pictures and things of the kids, and these memory books took hours to put together. And I said, I'm never doing this again. I complained about it all year. I was terrible. But when she passed away, her aunt contacted me, and they had no pictures of her. And so I was able to give them pictures, and when I went to her funeral, they played a slideshow, and it was only pictures from our classroom. There were no other pictures there. They had her memory book there. They had our class video there, and it was just, every time I get frustrated with things that I'm doing like that, I think about her and what a sweet little soul she was. One of the things that the preacher said that day, he was reading from her little memory book, and we asked the kids, I'm between a rock and they come up with the funniest things to say. They never say a hard place, of course. But she said, I'm between a rock and a rainbow. And he said, wouldn't the world be a better place if everybody thought like that? And when we left out of the funeral home, there was the most beautiful rainbow in the sky. And I think of Delana often. I still have the Valentine card she gave me. She would have been, I believe, 17 now. And she is the student that stands out most in my heart. The thing that makes me come to work every day, knowing that I want to teach school and be at Metter Elementary School, is one, the climate. I love my kindergarten team, everybody on the team. I love all the kindergarten teachers, I love all the kindergarten TAs, and they're like my family. I spend probably more time with them than some of my family members. And I love that. I love hanging out with my friends, AKA work, but also I just love the kids. When I come in the mornings, if I'm running late or if I'm not feeling well or if I've had a bad day the day before, they're always excited to see me. When they walk in the door, if I walk in the door first, whoever's there, they always greet me with a smile on their face and 90% of the time a hug, and that makes me come to school every day. I'm not sure what my goals are. I have 2 years left of teaching after this year, and I haven't decided exactly what I want to do yet. I score EdTPA portfolios as a side job, and I really like watching other people teach. That's pretty cool, but I cannot give them feedback, positive or negative. I just have to score it based on a rubric. I think I would like to do something like that, work with teachers, but my heart's with the 5-year-olds, so I'm not exactly certain what I want to do in 2 years. But I think we'll see. I'm not sure yet. I want to thank everybody at Metter Elementary School that voted for me to be the Teacher of the Year. I'm still in shock because I work with such amazing teachers. This is truly an honor, and I want to thank all of y'all. And MES, you're my family away from my family, and I love y'all.